I'll invite them back on stage. Mr. Yuari, Mr. Nelson, Mr. Go, and Lesieli, sorry. You can leave your tablet and come back and join us on stage for a few questions. All right. So I'll probably take 2 questions this time, since this is session number 2 from the audience. All right. If you've got a question, please raise your hand. Yes, no?
No, I don't.
Okay. Maybe I'll lead off for this session. With New Power and Dirio, we've had issues with PPAs, with state agencies, but how do you work that in your negotiations to ensure that supply into the cities is not affected, but then you balance that with your commercial arrangements? What are the discussions that you're having at this point in time?
You're holding it.
Yeah. So, if you look through the slide deck, I do highlight what some of the challenges in investing in Papua New Guinea are. I don't, I've articulated that quite clearly in a slide. And like any other investment destination, there are challenges, right? So this is not about, okay, this presents a problem. There's got to be 1 or 2 solutions to every challenge that you encounter. So I liken it to 2 sides of a coin. And the thing that keeps me energized and getting up every day is challenges on one side of the coin and the opportunity that represents every day of the week on the other side. And that really actually defines our relationship with our counterparty. As challenging as it may be, we're always looking for solutions to help them. In helping them, it helps us and all other stakeholders, including consumers on the grid. So take a look at our slide deck. You'll see exactly what those challenges are. We do articulate them, but there are solutions that we continue to work. And it's about being patient, delivering solutions, and not being seen as being prohibitive to progress, and collaboration, more importantly, amongst all stakeholders, including our industry peers as well. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Maybe a quick question. Yep. Did you?
Sorry,
Yep.
I should actually provide a response as well, rather than just letting Michael bear all that. But yeah, I mean, from Dirio's perspective, look, same thing. I was in a PNG Power's offices the other day saying, look, you're my only customer. My success is your success. So I'm here to collaborate with you and try to improve your profitability, because then I get paid. So look, Dirio's been providing. We've been available at call ever since we were commissioned in 2021. We've exceeded our availability cap under the PPA with PNG Power. But yeah, there are challenges. There are technical constraints. We're only able to send out electricity from 2 of our 3 turbines because the transmission line capacity hasn't been built to take our 3 turbines. But we are, we manage that. We're available. We're ready to export power. I send Excel sheets and papers over to PNG Power all the time saying, hey, what about this? Like, this is going to reduce the electricity cost to you from me. Have you tried this? Have you tried this? I'm always trying to think of ways to help them and help me. Dirio. So.
In recent times, has PNG Power and the government been more receptive to your suggestions on what to do to ensure that these issues are rectified?
I think they're always. Look, I've been in the role now for 12 months. In my 12 months in this role, PNG Power's always been receptive different people within the organisation have been open to different parts of what I've had to say. So just trying to pull those all together. Yeah, look, the idea is that you know, we're all serving a single customer, which is the energy users of Papua New Guinea.
Yep.
So let's work together. Let's work together to give them exactly what they need, which is reliable, affordable, sustainable electricity.
All right. Okay. For Leslie, with SDP's programs in Daru, and in particular with the solar project there, what has been the biggest change that you've seen within communities? What has been your feedback from those on ground that have unfortunately suffered for a very long time in regards to the services on that island?
Look, I think basically people want better services, you know, and they deserve better services. I think SDP is just such a unique organisation. You know, we're driven more by impact to beneficiaries than we are about shareholder return. So it's quite, you know, a unique position to be in.
All right. And for Alan, you know, you've sort of done it single-handedly over a few decades now.
Okay, okay. From addition to Michael and James, I feel very sorry for them actually as an investor. And I do have a worry also, and we just issued a first invoice just this week, and hopefully we will get paid. And but I think our scenario is a bit different from other energy, because for our chairman is here, and we actually our price is so good that PNG Power is going to make a huge amount of money, more money than any you know, us sweating people, and so we think through AW and Hydro they will recover financially, and then they can pay everybody. And that's one, and also for me, I'm looking far, because for energy, and the end of the day, people will need it. Even PNG Power is not there, people still need energy. So if you look at that angle, so it's not too much a worry for if you look at long term. Okay, yeah.
All right. Oh, we've got a question from Mr. Andakali. Yes. It's okay. So the mic's not ready. You can ask it, and I'll yeah.
I've got a couple of comments.
No. Yep. Oh, wait. Hang on.
Thank you. Two comments, or a couple of comments. One, I want to congratulate Alan for taking Edibu from a humble beginning. 2009 you started, 2012 you came to me, and I said, you know, bring your PPA and I'll close my eyes and sign it. Because two things I saw. One, what most people have additional water source, alternative water source, and alternative power source. So we don't rely on runner water and hydro. So you have done very well. Congratulations. And also, new power. I am also responsible for signing that PPA. I think at that time, the power requirement was available, and ExxonMobil power was supposed to stop, and then new power supposed to come in and replace that. I think that did not take place, so that is an issue. With DIRO, Heights PDL1 landowners were asked to invest, and I went and told DIRO people that you are bringing, there's not, you know, there's not enough, no, there's oversupply. What must be is oversupply, you know, don't bring power in, don't spend the money. Join up with Santos or Allsets and Kumul Petroleum, but they didn't listen. So I think all of you are now all fighting for the same same customers in Port Moresby. That's a big challenge. I think the big problem we have is PNG power. All of us are not, we are not pointing, or we are not identifying the elephant in the room here, and that is PNG power. PNG power is a big issue. As the chairman, I really want politicians to listen to this, but they are scared of making some tough decisions. And all of us are paying the cost of politicians, our ministers, our political leaders not making a tough decision to basically break the company up and de-unionize and allow transmission, generation, and distribution to be done, at the commercial, at commercial, and make it into commercial entities, so that it is sustainable and it is commercial. At the moment, we are not doing that. It's a billion kina turnover company, but we are not managing it properly, and the business, the communities, the people are suffering because of that. So I think that is really, and three of you are producing power, and all of you sending power into PNG Power, and PNG Power is not going to pay you guys. That's the fact of the matter. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Andagali, for the comments. Oh, we've got one question. That'll be our final question before we wrap up. No worries. If you've got questions, we'll be breaking for tea after this, so you can speak to the presenters outside during tea. Yeah, please. Your name and organization and your question, please.
My name is Alex Goya, GM with Kumul Petroleum. My question is probably all four of you can talk about is, I can see that Alan is going crazy building all those lovely hydros, and it's amazing to see your presentation. The rest of you, the two of my friends with the guest guys, we are on this side. I think I'm a guest guy as well. And we got a renewable on the other end. Now my question is about the levelized cost of energy to average Papua New Guinean. Now I know that an ANZ study that's been out there, it's got a levelized cost of energy is quite high. Now my question is very simple. How long do you think before the levelized cost of energy to a general household in Port Moresby comes down by 50%? And how does that make you feel about the investments you're doing right now, looking into the future? Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to start off? Yep.
Well, maybe I can offer a sort of a response. I think the first thing is our stakeholders, our consuming public want reliability. So that's the number one challenge that confronts us today. The price at which we pay for electricity is secondary at this point in time. So as long as I've got reliability, I'm happy. And then we can start talking about the cost at which it's supplied to my home. Right now, I want reliability. I want it 24/7 for my home, for my business, for industry. That's the real issue at the moment. How do we restore reliability right across the country for our general public? Then at some point in the future, when that reliability is restored, we can start talking about the price at which it's provided. And I've pointed out in my slide deck that Papua New Guinea is a high-risk, high-reward investment destination. And the price at which everything is provided reflects that. And that's the fact of the matter. Alan is an entrepreneur. He's very different. He's got a very different appetite for risk compared to our shareholders. And that's reflected in what Alan's been able to deliver over the decades versus our sort of deliberate and more sort of measured approach to investment in the industry. So there's a different approach. There's different appetites for risk. There's a reward that we're looking for from the industry, and the price at which electricity is offered to our public reflects that. But right now, the key issue is reliability. Once that's restored, we can start talking about the price at which it's supplied to customers or consumers. Thank you.
Thanks.
There's a lot to unpack. Yeah, so look, I think levelized cost of electricity is really obviously a multifaceted approach to pricing, right? So I think the key levers that you can pull in there is project life. So if you look at gas-fired generators, you're looking at roughly 30, 40-year asset lives. Against, Michael put up on his slides that he's got a 15-year PPA. So you're measuring LCOE over 15 years, or you're measuring over the true asset life of the generators that he's got installed. That's one question. And then when you look at Alan's hydropower stations, I mean, well, how old's Rauna? 60 years. So Alan's, which I'm sure have been built, using vastly modern techniques to the ones that Rauna was built 60 years ago. Are going to last a lot longer than 60 years. But again, how long is this PPA? So how long, over what time period do you kind of discount the cash flows for your LCOE calc? And the other thing is cost of capital, which is sort of something that I was hearing Michael say but not say, but explicitly cost of capital. I don't dare to pretend to understand how Alan and Michael run their businesses from a capital stack perspective. But again, one of the slides that Michael had up was that his investment was 100% equity financed. Okay, so that's cost of equity is X percent, always higher than cost of debt. Whereas I've got a bank loan against my asset. And I come from a project finance background as well. If I'm building a long life infrastructure asset like a power station, I want to jam 70% debt into the thing so I can reduce my cost of capital, and that will lower the LCOE to customers. So yeah, look, those are some of the things I think about when I'm determining my LCOE and trying to figure out ways that I can reduce my LCOE. Going forward, certainly in power projects that you'll see Direo develop, those are going to be some issues. And actually, I should, just while I'm talking about cost of capital as well, your cost of capital is not only dependent on what your hurdle rate is as an investor, it's also dependent on the credit risk of your counterparty. So PNG Power, high credit risk. I'm going to charge a higher cost of capital there to make sure that my returns are commensurate with the risk that I'm taking. So yeah, look, I don't have an answer when it's going to reduce by half. But if PNG Power's credit risk were to suddenly reduce overnight, that'd certainly go a long way to reducing LCOE.
Okay. Okay, my answer may be a bit more direct. Okay, so PNG now, like Michael mentioned, is a high cost. Business is running at high cost. And for hydro, one of the high costs is the civil. And that's why just now I showed you our plan to do a cement factory. And then we try to bring the cost of construction down. So that's why hopefully we can reduce the power cost. So that's one of the efforts. And another one is, I think in PNG we have a cut and horse situation. And right now we sometimes we say we don't have enough supply. Sometimes we say we have oversupply. Actually, PNG our government now is trying to bring it to prosperity. I think one of the first steps you have to develop a lot of power to make this infrastructure available, affordable, and to allow the industry to come up. And the industry come up, they will promote more demand. So as for China, that's the way how he did. In China, did 3 gorges at that time in 1980 and 1990, and they couldn't sell the power. The central government has to compulsorily require every province to undertake to subscribe the power. So eventually, after 3 gorges was fully commissioned, and there's just not enough power. So it's the power demand. It's the demand will come after the development. And PNG, we have a lot of resources. We promote in downstream, and also actually so much primary industry can use power. But that right now, like our power is not available, and it's expensive. So we are affecting this. So somewhere the government has to play a bigger role, just to help to develop more power and then create more industry. We have the resources, we have manpower, we have so much employment in the country. So we talk about manpower, we have plenty. Energy, as all of us showed you, there's not enough energy. So it's just, I think, a bit determination, and we have to work on it. And I think if we keep on working, I think in 10 years' time, we can reduce the power substantially, if not 50%. Yeah, but also bear in mind that this one, don't talk about figure, because spin power, the unit price now is some 10 years old or 12 years old. So not talk about figure, talk about the real value. So I'm talking about, okay, so I think that's my my answer to that one. Hopefully it's okay. But we can contribute to the reduction of the power. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our presentation this afternoon. Please join me in thanking Michael, James, Alan, and Lesieli for their presentations on renewables and energy transition. We will have the presentations prepared and shared via the PNG conference app this afternoon. So you'll have that by the time you leave the conference venue this afternoon. Just a reminder, after this, we've got the exhibition opening network cocktail function, which is proudly sponsored by New Power and Wärtsilä. So, Michael, thank you so much for sponsoring the cocktails this afternoon. If you need to have a conversation with them, please, we invite you to have a chat with them over the cocktails this afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning for the official opening start of the 2023 PNG Resources and Energy Investment Conference. Have a good afternoon.